Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Find Your Edge. My name is Jordan Agoli, and thank you for listening or watching wherever you are in the world. There's literally a million podcasts out there, and you chose to watch this one today, so that I'm very grateful for. I have been waiting for this moment for many years because today I have on a true living legend. Today we are talking to my sensei, Mitsunobu Uchida, who is the founder of United States Taido Karate, founded in 1975. He has personally helped oversee over 750 Shodan black belts. His school and dojo has been thriving for 48 years. He is also the president of the United States Taido Association. He has impacted tens of thousands of lives. He has helped bring Taido Karate to the United States, build relations between the Japanese and the United States. And I mean, this man's story is just incredible. My life would not be the same without him. So Sensei, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on the show and welcome.
Thank you for inviting us.
Sensei, just welcome and thank you for being here. So I'd love to start with present day, actively, how you spend your time. So you're in your early 70s and you're still training and you're still teaching. So could you just give people an understanding of what you're actively doing today?
I don't wake up too early morning, but started off my green tea and do a small exercise and eat breakfast. And in the morning, I'm trying to do the brain works. And afternoon, about 2 to 2:30, I go to dojo. And it's all by myself, stretching, learning in a hombu, and do the exercise until the Shihandai and the Dumont coming to the hombu. And they clean up. Meanwhile, I'm resting and get set for the first class for children. First class start 4:15, and I don't miss first class. And nice thing that Mitsaki give me a good schedule. So when he thinks I'm a little bit tired, Dad, go in the office and take a break. So I take a break. But most of the time, I stay till the end of the class. So 9:30. 9:40, and then drive home and look at Japanese news, halfway sleep, and go in bed. That's the maybe recently my life goes.
That's great, Sensei. And I want people to know that because, like I said, it's about to be year 50 of the Taido Dojo being open, 1975 to today, and you're still dedicated and going there every day teaching. One thing that's always stuck out to me is, I've been at Taido since I was 12 years old. You make an effort to teach the white belts, no matter the age, from young children to adults. Is there a specific reason behind that?
It reminds me to never forget the spirit of the white belt time. And it's a white belt time is so important time of the Taido for teaching. It's a white canvas and nothing drawing on it. And so we can teach Taido so much, so wide, so deep because of the white belt. And if somebody has a white belt and already drawing some Empire State Building or something on there, and then tells me, please teach me Taido, it's already had an Empire State Building. And so you can't draw what I want to really teach is. So the white belt time is so important.
Because that's your opportunity to impress upon that person what they're going to learn for the future. You're setting the foundation.
Yes.
Got it. So, Sensei, I'd love to know, I think we're going to end up breaking this interview into multiple parts because your life's journey is truly incredible. So, and I know we talked about this beforehand. I'd love to kind of go back in time to where you were born. One thing I did want to know, I forgot to mention this in the intro, everyone. Sensei, you hold a 7th degree black belt in Taido Karate. I apologize for not saying that. So the highest ranking member, I believe, in the world, Sensei?
In the United States.
In the United States. In the world to me, mentally. I'll say that. So just wanted everyone to know, highest ranking black belt in the United States.
For the worldwide, I'm the first one received the 7th degree black belt from Dr. Shikumine.
Wow. And you know what? We'll get to there, but let's talk about that real quick, Sensei. What do you remember from receiving your 7th degree black belt? And if I correct, was it in 1994 at the summer camp?
Yes.
What do you remember? Could you share that with us?
I think total of the 8 times Dr. Shikumine has been visiting United States, 8 to 9 times. And most of the time, the summer camp time. Summer camp for him and for us is very special because of the Taido's, all the techniques come from the nature. And by looking at nature, and he gets idea of the movement. And so summer camp is very important for Dr. Shikumine to come to the United States and checking his American student and how much they're getting better. And he checks individually, and he asked me, who is this guy? Who is this girl? And he had some eyes to look at it. And hopefully I was good enough to chosen for his first 7th degree black belts holders in the whole world. It was a great summer camp.
And what do you remember when he told you that you were going to test for it? How did that feel?
Well, I didn't really know he's going to give me the test. And I still remember I was reporting him for the schedule for the summer camp, at the summer camp. In hotel rooms, I go to his room and to explain what the schedule is. He said, you don't sit on my couch. And so, where? Oh, your place is by the door, where the, what do you call the entrance of the door? And that's the place, is your place. Oh, foyer.
Foyer? The doorway?
Yes.
The foyer. Oh, so he made you sit on the hardwood floor in Seiza.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Sensei, real quick, because a lot of people listening may not have done Taido too, so I want to give a couple contexts. Dr. Shikumine is the founder of Taido.
Yes.
Dr. Seiken Shikumine. Taido Summer Camp is a camp created by Sensei Uchida Kaicho. What year? 81. That brings all the students that are training down to what was Hilton Head and different beaches over the years to train for a weekend. So just for people listening, that's the context of what this is. It's a massive summer camp. And Seiza is the movement where you're sitting under your knees in the final position at the beginning or end of the hoke or at the end of class. It's very uncomfortable, especially on a hardwood floor.
Yes.
Continue, Sensei. Thank you.
And that's basically the white belts, the place to sit.
Yes.
And I'm bringing all the student teaching Taido, and he tells me, your seat is by the door. So I go by the door and Seiza, and I can hear the Mrs. Shikumine say, hey, you don't treat Mitz like that. And so from there, I said, Shikumine Sensei, this afternoon schedule is 1 o'clock, we'll be ready to pick you up. And I said, okay, don't be late. And that was a last conversation before the test. And he was looking at it in the movement, way I organize the summer camp, way I teach from white belt to all the way to the black belts. how much people enjoying and how much they're supporting to this group. I think all his judgment is there. And early morning, next day, taking a photograph, and he demonstrates some of his techniques. And he tells me I should do some of them. And that was the first chance in the whole world. His student, Mitsunobu Uchida, has a physical contact and practicing on the beach. And that was very special.
Sensei, are these the famous photos I was going to ask of the beach? Ebigedi, I remember those, Sensei.
Yes.
That was, wow.
He almost broke my arm.
It looks like it in the photo. Yeah. You're yelling. Wow. I'll make sure to link those up for people watching on YouTube to see the photos. So had you already received your black belt, was your 7th degree when you were doing those pictures, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
And then I had a banquet. And at the time, I guess he made a decision to sign the certificate.
Wow.
And brought to front of everybody at the dinner, at the banquet. I never forget that evening.
Yeah. How did it feel to receive the first ever 7th degree black belt from the founder of Taido?
Well, I never thought I can do this many years. But he guided me, not only Taido, but how to use a Taido in your life. If you cannot use Taido in your life, you're stupid. And that's what he told me. And it is very interesting. When we visited Dean Lusk, former Secretary of the State, his office, when we opened the door and went inside, that guy, Dean Lusk, has a sharp eyes. And he said, I was looking at you guys, what you're doing. His first question was, what you doing outside of the office when you're approaching to come to my office? Dean Lusk trying to tell Dr. Shikumine, you don't have any openings, no skids. And I came in the office and talking to, and I asked him, when you negotiate with the Russians about Cuba crisis, he said, they are using shoes, hitting on the table, and try to scare us. I put my eyes toward the front of them, and they barely blinked. And that time he said, I know I'm going to win this negotiation. That's one of the way that using his experience, the maximum, when he have to use to. The Taido is guiding you. You have a lifetime chance. But you got to have a good chakugan, eye contact. Not only looking at human being or opponent, but there's a lot of chance front of you. But you can recognize by your eyes, with your heart, to see through. And that is a very important. Eye contact in Taido teaches you to find the opportunity and make it happen and to be successful. Whatever you're going to be, newscasters, carpenters, scientists, each in your field, to be a best one in that field. That's you using Taido. That's what I learned from him.
And Sensei, that's what you've passed on to all of us. And we were talking about this right before the interview. every aspect of our lives, we pull back on our Taido training. Business, personal life, health, we always come back to it. And that leads me into the next thing, which is, your life's journey and how you use Taido over your life. Let's go all the way back in time, Sensei, to where you were born in Japan. Can you tell people where you were born?
Yeah, it's called Shizuoka. It's a foot of Mount Fuji facing to the Pacific Ocean. Population-wise, about 500,000 population. It's the capital of Shizuoka Prefecture. It's a very nice, good weather, and very famous for producing Japanese green tea and oranges and strawberries. Very well known. And also the castle built by Tokugawa Ieyasu, one of the founder of the Tokugawa shogun's family. His castle is located in our city. Wow. It's a beautiful place.
Can you tell me about your family? Your parents, I don't know much about them when you were born. What was life like growing up for you?
My dad is a Japanese acupuncture, and my mother is a nurse. And my dad has a arthritis whole his body. And so he has a really difficult, hard life. But always he gave me a dream. And that dream came with a freedom. I'm the only boy in the family, and I have 3 sisters. Usually, as a Japanese custom, you follow daddy's business. But my dad gave me a freedom when I was in junior high, mids. Whatever you want to be, you can do it. You have a freedom. So I went to a very special school, high school, called Reitaku High School. 90 boys and 60 girls from all over Japan every year take a test, examination, entrance examination, and stay in a dormitory and do 3 years.
So it's a boarding school. You lived at the boarding school.
Yes.
Wow.
And then each room has 5 boys staying.
Oh my.
And senior high school student is a captain of the room. And then basically most of the captain is a black belt of the karate. So every day, go to taking a shower in the bath. Before you get there, there's a makiwara, standing striking board, buried on the top of the ground. And you strike in the punch. On that board has a rope putting around. And I was really good at the makiwara when I get in Taido, because for 3 years, high school time, every day, hitting so hard before I taking a bath. So even small, I had a punch. Small, I had a kick. And that was a greatest experience in the Reitaku High School. And then we went to took an entrance examination of Tokyo International University, that they call today. And I saw the Taido demonstration. Wow, this is different. They flip in the air, go down the shajoge on the floor. It's a different planet movement. I signed it up. immediately start Taido. Every day, 3 to 4 hours practice.
And how old were you at this time, Sensei?
18.
You were 18. I want to pause there for a second. Before we jump into the more details of the Taido, I know prior to being in martial arts, you were a baseball player, correct?
Yes.
Could you tell me about that? Because we're going to talk all about the martial arts. I want to know just a little bit before that. Tell me about before you started martial arts. You were a very good baseball player.
Well, I started off sumo.
Really?
When I was 5, 6 years old. It taught by the Japanese noodle shop owner nearby my house. And he goes, Mitz, come to my home on the weekend. And he taught me sumo. And next door to noodle shop, there was a sushi shop. Owner of the sushi shop looking at him said, we teach you karate. So I have in a small district of the town, when I walk today, I'm still hero. They call Mitz. Remember the day of the sumo? Remember the champion of the judo? For the little district of the Shizuoka. Wow. And then I started playing baseball. And I was really good. And my team was really good. We went to the final, city finals of the 500,000 population. It's a really strong team. That's the first time my dad came and looked at my baseball game because he was so busy. We are winning to the end of the ninth. The guy hit the home run, and we lost the game. And I still remember that taste of the losing. And I don't want to be the loser anymore. And start karate training in the later high school. So I did sumo, judo, and karate when I was young, by the seasons, not every day, all three of them.
You would just do a variety of sports.
Yes.
And work towards it. So did you get to black belt at any of those levels, or you was just more training along the way?
The sumo and these things really don't have
it's just training.
Yeah.
So you had a foundation of
martial
arts. And then you go into high school, you're in the boarding school.
Yes.
And you're in the room of the 5 boys. So you were at one point the youngest in the room. Was there any picking on, beating up?
Oh, wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock, carrying the bucket, running to the outside, get a water out of the bucket, and then coming back to clean up their own room. There are 2 rooms in a dormitory, each buildings. But water outlet is only 2. So if you don't run fast and getting into and bring back to the water to the room, you get punishment. Push-ups, knuckle push-ups, all kinds. And so as a room, we are very tight. In the evening, when everybody went to bed, boss of the room said, Mitz, wake up. We're going to practice karate. And so it's a dormitory. And so gymnasium is open 24 hours. You can use any time. So practice. And basically the later high school is a very strong martial arts. That's the maybe strongest influence. Started off taking martial art class.
Got it. And is that, so you started karate in high school, and that's where you fell in love with it and really built a very strong foundation. And it sounds like you had older guys teaching you.
Yes.
So when you have someone bigger and older than you, you learn very quickly.
Yes, because of the same on the campus, the Reitaku University too, and University Karate Club practice with us.
Oh, the college classes practice with you in high school.
Yes.
Oh, so you were exposed to high level training and teaching when you were young.
Yes.
Boarding high school and university.
And is that the same age as here? So you're around 14, 15, starting in high school? So
Yes.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yes.
You're training all the time.
Yes.
And then 18, you go, remind me the university name?
It's used to be originally called ICC, International Commerce and Economics. Today, they call Tokyo International University.
Got it. So you got into that university, and that's
Yes.
where you discovered Taido for the first
Yes.
time. Okay. Was Dr. Shikumine at that demonstration, or he was not there?
He comes teaching classes
Oh, okay.
once in a maybe month.
Okay. But there was a club, there was a Taido club
Yes.
at the school.
Yes. Very strong, very traditional.
What attracted you to Taido? So let's do some math here. If you're 18, you were born in 1950?
49.
So this is, my math, 1967? This would be? What attracted you to Taido then?
One more time.
What stuck out to you about Taido then? You saw it and you're like, wow, this is different. What was different about it when you saw it?
I mean, totally different than what we learned. It's more like astronauts. It's a beyond the martial arts. It was a very new to me and very interesting. I signed up the first day, and I liked the traditional training. We didn't have buildings for athletic clubs. So Taido, we practice outdoor, no roofs, every day. Wow. And that's why I appreciate nature. Sentai no Tsuki spinning punch in Taido. I don't know those who are not looking at Taido what the Sentai means. But the day I mastered, I still remember that day and that feeling. It was a rainy day. It was outside, on the mud, practicing many times, and getting tired. I slipped accidentally. But that feeling feeling between the ground and my bottom of the skin of the foot, because of the feeling spinning so easily, no effort, but when the fastest and the hardest punch comes out. Because of the outdoor practice, traditional way to work, it's work. That moment, I never forget.
What type of training do you remember? So you were in the university and you were training in Taido. You said you were practicing 3 to 4 hours a day. Could you walk us through, because you've put me through some pretty brutal training sessions before, Sensei, where I didn't think I was going to make it. And you too, Shahanda, you guys have put us through a lot. What were you doing back then? I know people would like to know.
The 10 students in my grade, freshman grade, 10 members. Some of them are very educated, so we tell them, you gotta make a questions. Otherwise, they're gonna kill us, not giving us a break time.
Oh, you need to ask about the techniques.
Yes.
It's a good
So
tactic.
smart guys, and we tell them, ask a question. So he goes, uppercrossman, I have a question. Oh, give us a 30-second break. When you came to the Nengi on the summertime, can you do 50 times one direction on the dot and went to the end of the court? Nobody can turn around in the same place. So moving to the edge of the court. Ask a question. Senpai, I have a question. We don't have a space anymore, uppercrossman said. Well, then switch side, coming back, fielding back up. So I said, another question. It's killing us. He said, I don't have any more questions. So, Senpai, I have a question. I cannot stay in the same place. And doing it so much, I need to go in the bathroom. He asked me, big one or small one? And I thought, small ones not let me go to the bathroom. So, big one, sir. He said, your gi is all dirty, so go ahead, do it. Nobody can tell. At that time, I noticed that some excuse doesn't work. Very traditional.
Wow.
But I appreciate my uppercrossmen gave us a hard time. So we turned out, all of us have become a really good Taido man.
At that young age, obviously at this point, I mean, you've mastered all aspects of Taido. What were some of your favorite things at that age in part of your training? Did you like just send more hokes, techniques, all of it?
Every day, barefoot, 4 kilometers, running. That was, I liked it. They took us to by the train, the bridge. And when train comes, use kiai. Yeah, to, ta. And if good enough to uppercrossman senpai can hear on the bridge, give us a big okay. Cross, not okay. So we have a kiai to make it very strong. That's the way we learned. Shyness, it's very difficult to overcome. We get in the train. Uppercrossman said, Mitz, go ahead and center and sing aloud. So start singing. Sign kid, not good enough. So talking loud. The passengers knows it too anyway. It's part of the training of the youth.
Oh, there's passengers on the train that aren't from the Taido school.
Yeah.
They're just making you sing to get over, to embarrass you. Wow.
To overcome.
You gotta make noise on the train, man. You better be quiet on the train.
Oh, so
And you go to the center,
they're intentionally doing this.
Yes.
and everybody's gonna be looking at you like, why are you drawing attention to yourself?
Oh.
Why are you disturbing the peace?
And
of
they
the
knew
train?
this. Wow.
Pure shyness.
So my uppercrossmen senpais, I really appreciate it. Without these tough training, didn't make a mitts so tough.
So they really gave you guys a hard time at that age. Well, to walk me through, Sensei, how quickly were you progressing? So you started your freshman year. What was the belt rankings like at that time? And when did you start earning other levels and more respect to where you became the upperclassman?
It's a white belt. Next one is a purple belt, green belt, brown belt, and then black belt.
So same as we have here.
Yes.
Okay. And how quickly did you advance to the next ones? Because you had your background in martial arts. Were you progressing quickly, or they took a long time to put you through?
Same way. It doesn't count. But people know when the championships comes, or when the university against university training sessions, my upperclassmen said, when I was a purple belt, took me to the back alley, said, I let you wear this black belt for 3 minutes. I put the black belts on and got in the gym. And the opposite opponent, university, we're doing GSM practice. When I was a purple belt, I beat 3 black belts. Fourth one was really good. Beat me up so bad. But we have a chance to smell, taste of the black belts. And the upperclassman gave me a great opportunity. But also he gave me a hard time. Every day washing his gi. And that's taught me too.
Tell me what that taught you, Sensei, because something I've noticed, one of the things that I always take away from the training, I mean, hundreds of things, but we would always clean the dojo, and it's always showing upperclassmen respect, and you have to have your gi and everything that has to be clean and has to be ready to go. What did that teach you at that young age? Because I feel like today's generation would look at it as disrespect, and it's not disrespect.
The society has been changed.
It sure has.
And value in the societies has been changed. At that time, it was okay. But society has been changed. And then you gotta go with the society. And that is a very difficult part of the martial art training. The students are not expecting the cleaning the hombu or cleaning the gis. They're more learning physical things and mental and spiritual training. So in the U.S. Taido, to both works together. So it winded up like yourself, very successful, great human being in the society. It's a very difficult part for old fashioned. But things are never changed, some of the spiritual things, or respect the people, or respect the opponent. It's a really difficult part of the today's martial art training. Just as some of the students don't see the Chakugan eye contact. It's not physical, not only physical eye contact to find the opponent where it is. It's the same opportunities in front of everybody. But if you don't train to look at, see through what the truth is, and you work on what you're good at it, you're going to be successful. That is a true Chakugan. Trying to mastering one sentai. It's the same process of the Chakugan, where you're going to concentrate and use as your eyes to see through what the opponent's thinking. By the training, if you have a Chakugan by itself, you mastered your life.
It's very wise, Sensei, and it's very true. You're right. The eye contact is everything. You can do so much with just your eyes. You can protect yourself. You can win negotiations and deals.
Yes.
It's very true. You have to go in with confidence. So, Sensei, going back to you training in university, you were training all the time. You were clearly very good at Taido early on. What were you planning to do with life at that point? You were going to school. So what were you going to be? And then when did it change into, I'm going to start a Taido school? Tell me about that.
I never thought I'm going to be a Taido teacher. But I have a dream. Going back to again, and my dad gave me a freedom. Didn't follow he said, you don't need to do my business. You do your things to find. So I had a spirit of going to see different things. And I had an opportunity to go and spend the time at the university in the Salem, Oregon, sister school of my university in Japan. Only those who pass the test can spend the summer school in the United States.
Wow. Okay. So there was like a co-op with the universities.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a chance. So March 1st, 1970, that day I flew out Tokyo and I came to United States.
Wow. At 21?
20.
20. Wow.
And I had a Greyhound bus tickets pass, $99 for 100 days. You can go any place in America, Mexico, and Canada. I didn't think I'm going to be a Taido teacher. I was college student, has a more idea of this staying in Oregon and do the summer camp, summer school.
So you were visiting Oregon for school? You were there for school, and you were going to travel a little bit at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Before I went to the Oregon.
For the school year?
Yes.
Okay.
For 3 months, from the March to the summertime. I traveled around the whole United States.
Wow.
Maybe 3 times because of I saving the money for hotel fee. So right in the midnight to the next morning, 5 o'clock, I was on the bus so I can save money.
You do the red eye so you can sleep.
You'd go overnight. Sensei, did you speak any English at that time?
No.
Okay,
so I go to the supermarket and they look at this sign said $6 for $1. It's a tuna can. My favorite tuna. I bought $5 worth, put in my bag, and I went to park. And I was trained by my Taido senpai using 1 spoon to open the can. So I used a spoon to open the can and ate it full. I ate the 5 cans or so. And then I start looking for what he said, labels. And he said, for cat.
Sensei, did it not taste weird?
No. because I was so hungry. Banana was 10 cents a pound. So eat bananas and tuna can. But for cat, no wonder I have whiskers.
So there was a language barrier, as I'm seeing. Was there any, Sensei, you're so funny. Were you nervous at all coming over? Had you been out of Japan before? Had you been,
No.
So let me get this straight. You're 20, you come to Oregon and you travel all around on the Greyhound bus. Sensei, did you have any fear, any worries, or you just like, I'm going to enjoy life and I'm going to figure this out?
Yes, that I was just don't afraid anything, to enjoy the life. But one day at the Oregon changed my life. Cultural day, president of the university asked me to do a Taido demonstration.
Wow.
And I did a Taido demonstration with my Taido guy, who also came to the Oregon.
You had a colleague come with you?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we did demonstration. And my flying sidekick, the picture of that, came to next day's newspaper. Huge article. Overnight, many people called the university. We want to have this guy to come to our university. And that was looked at by the people of Omaha, Nebraska, the sister city of Shizuoka, Japan. And I went over there because they said, come on, your dream will come true. So I said, yes, great. So went to college in Nebraska. President of the college said, Mitz, first lesson, what are you going to teach? My head, maybe spinning, jumping senjo to a triple shajo. Which one am I going to choose? And it's dawned to me, Mitz, be modest, not showing off. It's a university. It dawned to me. And so took her shoes off and sat on the hard concrete floor and lay and back. When I face up, president of the university said, Mitz, you got it. You can teach my university PE department. Wow. And then you get the full scholarship. Board and room. I said, bingo. And my life, new life begins. Teaching university PE credit hours, my classes. And I took 18 hours a week classes. And I got enough credit hours. Graduate from the university. Went back to Japan, asking Japanese university, counting all my credit I took in America. They said, okay. So I got a credit, graduation from Japanese, both from the US and Japan, college diploma.
Wow, Sensei, I never knew this. So just so I make sure I understand properly, when you went to Nebraska initially, you were going to visit. Did you have plans to teach Taido there, or you were going to study?
I wanted to study now.
You wanted to study
at that time,
and they
but
asked
don't
you
have
to,
the money.
Got it. So they asked you to demonstrate. The newspaper saw it. People really liked it.
Yes.
They wanted to start a club. You saison in front of the president. You show. He says you're in. You'll teach. We'll give you room and board at the same time. Wow.
Instead of class, not club, class.
You start classes.
So
Yes.
The students could get actual PE credits by doing Taido.
So they're winning because they're teaching their students a new culture, new martial art, physical training. You're building a class in new Taido school without even planning on it, but you were doing that. So how long did you stay in Nebraska?
The year and a half, but they have a corresponding school near San Antonio, Texas. It's called Seguin. Texas Lutheran College said that we want to give him a scholarship. So please send him to our school teaching Taido. I drove down to the Texas.
From Nebraska?
From Nebraska. And then taught one semester.
In Texas, too?
In Texas.
How was Texas?
Very good.
I was going to ask Sensei, how did everyone welcome and accept you as a Japanese man not speaking their language in the United States in the 70s?
Taido.
It brought people together.
Yes.
So they respected you because of the martial art.
Yes.
And then they met you and they're like, this man's amazing. So,
yes.
Okay.
And then at the Nebraska's Dana College, sent a letter to the Texas, said, you guys are enjoying learning Taido, but he's our student. Don't you ever tell him he can graduate from the Texas. He comes back, our school, and graduate.
They wanted you there.
That was a deal. So I went back and I graduated from the college in Nebraska.
Wow. So 18 months there, you're training, you're learning. I'm assuming you're learning English as you go along too.
Gradually.
Gradually, slowly. Where did you live? When you were you said you were in Nebraska.
The farm.
The farm? What was the farm like?
Actually, it's in Iowa, next door to Nebraska.
Okay.
And it's summertime. I like the horses, riding horses.
Yeah.
And so I went there to demonstration, the Taido, and found a sponsor for my summertime to staying there.
Good.
Can you imagine him and cowboy hats? And,
the cowboy.
That was my dream.
To be a cowboy?
Yes.
And he loved riding.
So yeah,
I'm good at riding horses.
Sensei, let's talk about that a little bit. So you had a homestay on the farm with this family, and you loved riding horses. Tell me about that.
Well, I want to be the cowboy so bad because of watching the movies and Western movies and all that. And one of the students from Iowa asked me to do, Miss, would you like to teach the children the summer vacation time and same time be a cowboy? So I said, oh, yes. And so I learned how to
bale hay?
Yes, bale hay.
Yep.
And the horse shows came on the town.
Wow.
And I asked my family, can I borrow the one horses? So one new horse they had. So I took that horse to the horse show in the town. I named that horse Ichiban.
Oh, number one.
Yes. And I did pretty good. So I really became a Taido cowboy.
You made your dream come true.
Yes.
That's amazing, Sensei. I meant to ask, when you came over to the university, did you have your first degree? Did you have your Shodan black belt in Taido yet?
Yes.
Okay.
The 1970 already I had.
Okay.
But that was a very difficult way. Like very wise man, Dr. Seiken Shikumine's judgment was made my life today. I took a test among the so many people, and he chose one to take a special test. I had a phone call. He said, come to Tokyo and get set for the black belt test.
For your Shodan?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I was prepared. I was practicing. It's called Toi no Kata, Toi no Hoke. It's my favorite one. And it's pretty difficult. I decided that's how I'm going to perform. Went to Tokyo's Taido building. The top of the building had a flat roof. And chairs and table was ready for him to light. And he said, let's go on top the roof. I said, Oos. And your choice of hoke, hajime. My head, lifetime chance came. Pow, pow. Feels so good. And finish. Lay. And came back. He disappeared. And when I think about it, where the chairs and the tables? It's gone. From behind, somebody laughing at me. Mitsunobu, you are looking at USA. And then dawned to me, I had a mistake. Turn around, here he is on the chair, and has a desk there too. And I noticed that, man, what a mistake. My butts to sensei and finishing. I mean, if he said fail, US Taido never happened. I never went to USA. He laughing at me, and I'm looking at USA and finishing. Young man, go America. Oos. He said, I'm going to write you a recommendation. He wrote in the brush writing, and it gave to me. Mitz, this is our dream. Go America. And I decided, go to America and take a Taido gi with me and demonstration as much as possible to do. But I wasn't planned to stay that long. But one photograph in Oregon changed my life. University president changed my life, become a PE teacher. In Texas, Lutheran College, send me back to Nebraska to graduate. And I wrote a letter to Japan, Japanese university president, and they never did before, to taking American universities credit hours. They took all of them, so I could graduate from Japanese university. I did. And Dr. Shikumine said, Mitz, you're in my special group, Kishikai. Us. And from Shizuoka to Tokyo, I traveled by the bullet train and went back and forth, prepared. And one day, Japanese Economic Journal, that newspaper, showed the article. It said, Kuniko came with a gone with the wind. It's a story of the Japanese girl came to Georgia Tech and found an American family in Atlanta and become their daughter and graduate tech and went to Japan, back to Japan. I read that story. I wrote a letter. It was a deputy commissioner of the Department of Agriculture of the States of Georgia. I wrote him a letter. He answered very quickly. I'm getting old and retired, but my successor will be a really nice guy. His name is Tom Long. I'm going to introduce you. I wrote a letter to Tom Long. Tom Long said, anytime you are welcome. 3 days later, I came back to Atlanta and I stayed at his home for 3 months. And Deputy Commissioner of Agriculture said, Mitz, what other things do you want? Before I retired, I would like to help you anything I can. You can do for me one thing. What is it, Mitz? I want to have a green card. He said, I don't know what that thing is. Who issued that? So I say, such and such. He called. We're coming. And sooner or later, I received the card. Decided officially start the U.S. Taido Association. So that's the long story, make it short.
Yes.
And the reason why I chose Atlanta is Omaha is too cold for my dad. Wintertime is a lot of snow. But Atlanta is a warm, nice weather. Good for my dad and mom. When I was first travel around United States by the Greyhound bus, Atlanta was a great place for me. So many beautiful ladies.
Yes, Sensei. Yes, there are, Sensei.
Yes, so I don't know, people call Southern Bells or whatever.
That is a term.
And so has a historical knowledge with Gone with the Wind. And I chose the right city. Olympic came. U.S. Taido became very successful. I had the opportunity to be a good consultant. And I did a consulting business between my country, Japan, and great United States of America. I think my Chakugan wasn't pretty good. And my senseis and senpais gave me a great training. It's not only myths, but because of all these, including my mom and dad, gave me a freedom. And that freedom was very important. When I took a Shodan test, I can fail easily that test. But Dr. Shikumine said, go America. You're facing to them. You go. I wrote you a recommendation. And U.S. Taido grew. Maybe next chance we can talk. But a lot of stories.
I was going to ask Sensei, and I agree. I think the next interview, we pick it up when you started. So just so I understand, you took your Shodan test before you went to Nebraska the first time.
Yes.
You made the mistake. You faced the United States. Dr. Shikumine says, go, spread Taido.
Yes.
You go to Taido. You have the picture. Everybody wants Taido to become a club. You become the PE teacher. It gets credits. You teach in San Antonio. So all of these serendipitous moments led together. You come back to Japan.
Yes.
And I think we can wrap it up after here is when you came back to Japan, what were you, 21, 20, 22, 23?
20 maybe. Oh, I stayed 3.5 years.
In the United States?
Yeah, first trip.
The first trip, okay.
Yes.
Going to school, teaching, training.
Yes.
Okay.
And then about a year and a half.
Year and a half. In
The year and a half in Japan. What were you doing during that year and a half time?
The commuting from Shizuoka to Tokyo to train the special group.
The Kishikai.
Kishikai.
Okay. Okay, so at that point, you were all in. So at that point, were you like, hey, I want to bring Taido back to the United States. I'm going to train here, build up a group.
Yes.
Okay, so you were preparing to come back to the United
Yes.
States. Okay, I see. So you have Dr. Shikumine's blessing. At what point did you get your Nidan or Sandan? At that time in Japan or later on?
I'm the maybe first man in Taido did the promotion test by the Shikumine sensei while I'm in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Nidan, Sandan was given by the Dr. Shikumine while I'm in the United States teaching Nebraska.
Wow.
It was in the Japanese Taido newsletter. My articles so many times. Fortunately, I kept, didn't throw away. So it's a very good, my memory books. Second trip to the United States, I have a 4th degree black belt.
Wow. Well, Sensei, this is incredible. I've learned so much about the story already. I think let's do this.
Ask him about if he ever had to use Taido in the Greyhound bus line.
Did you have any altercations in Greyhound?
Anybody cut the line?
Oh. The Grand Bus Depot is the people waiting the bus to come in. And I was in the maybe 3rd or 4th place in the line. And the guy walked past all of us, went to the front. I don't speak good English, but I went over there, hitting his shoulder and showing, this is not your place. You go to the end of the line, showing by the finger, going back and pointing there. I can tell his eyes are start clicking. But this guy, and I can tell he's attacking signals from his eyes. He swing at me so hard. To me, takes 3 years to punching me. So slow. But for him, I guess, doing the best. Doc, he was down the floor, and about that time, security came and took him. So that was a Greyhound bus. People...
The clap?
Yeah.
Cheering. Oh, that's amazing, Sensei.
He just undercut the guy. So the guy threw the punch, like he said, tried his hardest and put all of his weight behind it. So Sensei went underneath and just kind of undercut him, like you're going up for a dunk and you undercut the guy. Just kind of undercut the guy and he flipped him over. One full flip over, onto his back, onto the concrete.
Amazing.
Didn't have to kick or
You didn't even have
punch.
to strike.
No strike.
Used his own weight.
No.
Well, I know we've used that training in Taido. I'll tell you that. We definitely have. That's amazing, Sensei. That's amazing. Sensei, well, I want to say thank you very much for coming on to share this story. And when we come on for part 2, let's plan to take it from starting at 1975 when you come to the United States.
Yes.
And we'll tell that story. Because you know what's crazy, Sensei? We've been talking for almost 2 hours. The story's just begun. It's just begun. So thank you so much, Kaicho. like I said at the beginning, you have impacted thousands of lives, and the world would not be the same without you. So I love you very much, Sensei, and thank you so much.
And thank you. Had a great chance to talk about my life. I hope this give my student one word I have been teaching them, at least to be better than the sensei. If somebody knock you out 7 times, stand up for 8th.
Us.
Never give up spirit. Chakugan. Look good, experience good, and see through what the behind it. Do not lose the opportunity. Prepare for it. And that's the U.S. Taido spirit. And I want to handing to next generation, to the generation to come. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Sensei. Thank you. And you have my word. We will continue your spirit and your honor and your guidance and your wisdom onto the next generation. You have my word, along with many other black belts' words. I assure you of that.
Good.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
And to everybody watching, like I told you, this man is a living legend, and he has added so much value to the world. He will be coming on for part 2 very soon, so stick around and watch that next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on Find Your Edge. Take care.